Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD Attention Coach Jeff Copper, and today we're here with professional organizer Chris Scott. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here.
We've done some radio shows before. This is the first video that we've done, but you know, she's the head of Organizing Maniacs, which, by the way, I love that.
Thank you.
She's Maniacs, get it? So, really wanted to get some validation. We were having a conversation. My son graduated with an industrial engineering degree, and whenever they're going to go into an organization and take a look at a system or whatever, the first thing they do is they map out the existing system. And I can't tell you how many people have come to me and they said, I'm disorganized. I said, no, you would be dead if you weren't organized.
Right.
So we've got to map out your current system.
Right.
That's what you do, is that right?
That is kind of what I do. I think there's a huge misconception that people think that I'm going to hire somebody to help me, whether it's a coach or an organizer, and that we're going to destroy everything that they had ever done that works for them, and that's not the truth, right? I think if you work with people that are trained to understand that you know best, we tend to just basically be like little investigators.
Yep.
We go into your space or into your brain a little bit and try to understand what you do and how you do it. We help you deconstruct it in a positive way. We keep all of the things that work really well, and then we give you some new systems for what doesn't.
So let's give some examples of what it looks like. So I go into somebody's place and they've got stuff all over the desks.
Right.
People with ADHD have an issue with working memory. They have like that. It's like that computer that's spinning around trying to find the stuff on the hard drive. It's like the spinning wheel of death. And if you have something that's out that's a visual reminder, hey, I remember it. But if you put it in a drawer, it's out of sight, out of mind. You might as well just throw it in the trash can. So if it's on that desk, we have to work with it because if we put it away, it's out of sight, out of mind. But at the same time, if it's not out, it's there. I don't know about you, but I've done some things where we put stuff on bookcases and put like curtains over it. And we opened and closed it
That's a good system.
at certain times in order to do that, or just like the ADHD person who spreads everything out on the dining room table. It's like, well, you need to get a dining room table in your office because it's there for a reason.
You need a big surface.
Yeah, and so it's you're a professional organizer, I'm a coach. We're really talking about the same thing, but we're looking for the reason your current system works, because what's going to work for you, all the answers and clues are in your current system. Is that
right? Absolutely. And sometimes I think I call it like formalizing or normalizing your piles, right? Because sometimes like piles is the only way that's ever going to work. I can give you the most beautiful, elaborate, color-coded, minutely detailed system, and guess what? In 2 weeks, you're still going to be piling on your desk because that's the system that works for you. So I go into people's spaces and I just formalize that, and I make them feel like, okay, this is the system that works for me, and I make it okay. I make it okay that you're different and that you like piles.
So the thing I like about this is that everybody out there, you're not broken. You actually have a system.
Absolutely.
You just have to learn to witness your system and understand that. I think the rub really comes sometimes you have a different style. Like often you might be, I've coached a couple couples before where like one was from the military and it had to be put away in its home. And the other one had to have the visual reminders. Just because you have ADHD doesn't mean it's your problem. You have a difference in styles. And sometimes you have to design an environment for both styles to coexist, which is not an easy thing. But at the end of the day, if you're really clever on that stuff, you can make that happen if you're witness to your own style and they're witness to their own style and you negotiate. Is that
right? And I think when you speak of the people that like the stuff out and the people that like their stuff covered, right? You can just formalize the piles in a way that looks pretty. So then you can have a bin that looks nice. So if you have a wife that's like, I don't like seeing your junk everywhere, then give it a nice bin that makes her happy, and you still have the pile. It's just have a little bit more.
So I have to tell you the story. I was coaching a couple one time, and she had all this stuff all over the kitchen island. Now, she had a bunch of stuff in her office, but she'd close the doors all over the island. Her husband could come in. All this stuff was school-related stuff, so it had to be a point of performance, which Dr. Barkley talks about all the time. And I'm like, it has to coexist. I said, she says, what do you mean? I said, well, what if you just like put an inbox there? And all of a sudden, I hear those racket. I'm like, where are you? She says, I think I got an inbox in the closet. And she put it there, and like 2 weeks later, like, wow, it was working perfectly.
See?
And so all of a sudden, we had it made some sense, and it worked.
I know, and she paid you a ton of money to tell her just put a box there, right?
Listen. Don't end my career.
I think that we have to acknowledge that sometimes people just need permission. You and I talk about this a lot, right? About like the mourning process and the understanding process and the accepting process. I think sometimes people just need permission. So we are giving you permission to have piles that just look pretty.
There you go. So Chris, thank you so much for
You're
coming on the show and
welcome.
validating everybody out there that thinks you're disorganized. You really got more going on than you think.
That's pretty awesome. It's good to be here.
Take care.
Bye.